The morning sunlight poured through the tall glass windows of Alexander Hart's penthouse, illuminating chaos. Toys scattered across marble floors, juice spilled on a Persian rug, and two little girls, his twin daughters Emma and Isla, screamed in perfect harmony. The newest nanny stood frozen, tears of frustration in her eyes. "I can't do this," she said, grabbing her coat. "They're impossible." The door slammed before Alexander could stop her. He sighed, rubbing his temples. He'd built empires from scratch but couldn't keep one nanny for more than a week. His girls weren't bad. They were just broken, confused by loss, aching for the mother they barely remembered. He leaned against the glass door, looking out over the city. "What am I doing wrong?" he whispered to no one. Downstairs, Grace worked quietly with her mop and bucket, moving from corridor to corridor. A single mom with soft eyes and calloused hands, she'd long stopped hoping for miracles. Survival was enough. Her own daughter, Lily, waited in a neighbor's apartment while Grace worked double shifts. When her supervisor rushed up to her that morning, panic in his voice, she froze. "The boss's twins are out of control again. Every nanny's quit. Can you just go up and calm them until he finds someone new?" Grace hesitated. "I'm a janitor, not a nanny." "Please," the man pleaded. "Just try." Moments later, she was standing in the penthouse doorway, mop in hand, eyes wide. The room was in chaos. Two crying girls, toys everywhere, and a man in a suit looking completely undone. Alexander turned, stunned. "You're here to clean?" he asked. "They said you needed help," Grace replied softly. Without waiting for permission, she knelt beside the twins, lowering her voice. "Hey there, sweethearts," she murmured, her tone warm and steady. "It's okay. You don't have to cry. I'm here now." Slowly, miraculously, the crying quieted. Emma reached for her glove. Isla clutched a teddy bear Grace pulled from under the couch. Within minutes, both girls were snuggled in her lap, their tiny breaths evening out in calm sleep. Alexander stood frozen, his expression one of disbelief. "No one's ever—" he began, then stopped. "How did you do that?" Grace smiled faintly. "You just have to listen," she said. Children know when someone really hears them. Days turned into weeks. Grace stayed, first as a temporary helper, then as the only person who could keep the twins smiling. The penthouse, once cold and sterile, began to feel like a home again. Grace filled it with laughter, lullabies, and the smell of pancakes in the morning. Alexander found himself pausing in doorways just to watch her, the way she knelt on the floor, giggling as the girls tried to braid her hair, the way she whispered comfort when nightmares came. He hadn't realized how much he'd missed the sound of tenderness. One evening, after a long day of meetings, he returned home to find Grace asleep on the couch, the twins curled up on her chest. The sight stopped him cold. He'd spent years believing control was everything, that love could be managed like business. But watching her, he realized love wasn't managed. It was given, quietly, fearlessly, without expecting anything back. Later that night, as the twins slept, he brought her a blanket. She stirred awake, embarrassed. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean to fall asleep." He shook his head. "Don't apologize. You've done more for them in a month than I have in a year." She smiled sadly. "They just need someone to see them, not just care for them." He hesitated, then asked quietly, "And who sees you, Grace?" The question caught her off guard. Her eyes filled, though she tried to hide it. "No one needs to," she murmured. "As long as Lily's safe, that's enough." When she said her daughter's name, something broke in him. That quiet resilience, that selflessness he'd forgotten people could have. He wanted to say something, anything, but instead he whispered, "You're not alone anymore." Winter came, blanketing the city in snow. On Christmas Eve, the penthouse glowed with warmth and light. The twins giggled beside the tree, decorating it with clumsy hands. Grace sat with Lily, helping her hang a star on the highest branch. Alexander watched from across the room, the scene stealing the breath from his chest. His daughters, the same girls who once cried themselves to sleep, now laughed like they'd never known pain. And at the center of it all was Grace, the woman who'd done the impossible without even trying. When the girls finally dozed off, Grace started gathering her things. "I should go," she whispered. "You've given us enough." But before she could step away, Alexander caught her hand. "You've given me everything," he said softly. She froze. I thought I had it all. Money, success, control. But none of it mattered until you walked in with that mop and showed me what family really looks like. Her eyes shimmered. Alec, she began, but he stepped closer. Stay, he said simply. Not as their nanny. As someone who belongs here. With us. Tears slid down her cheeks as she nodded, unable to speak. The twins stirred in their sleep, whispering Mama for the first time. Grace covered her mouth, trembling, while Alexander smiled through his own tears. Outside, snow drifted softly past the glass walls. Inside, the four of them sat beneath the tree, the fire casting a golden glow around them. A man who'd lost love, a woman who'd found hope, and two little hearts that had finally come home. Because sometimes, the family you build from broken pieces becomes the most perfect one of all.